my little bees, I have never introed a video like that before, but I wanted to try it. Today we are talking about sexuality. As you can see by the name of this video, am I gay? I want to talk about expression of sexuality and feeling more comfortable in your sexuality and all that sexy stuff. So I feel like embracing your sexuality is a thing, it's a trend right now, it's trending. And it's a very it's a theme that is reoccurring in the media and in the trans community and all of that fun stuff. So I want to talk about changing sexuality, which I've talked about. Absolutely, I've talked about changing sexuality. Actually, I believe I talked about that with Steph, and we collabed on it, and that was a great video, and I'll put in the link in the description below. But I want more to talk about today about embracing your sexuality, and I want to talk about like doubting your sexuality. So, quick little history of me. When I was younger, I was like, I'm bisexual, I'm a lesbian. Then I was like, I'm trans, what am I? I don't know, I don't want to be straight because that's weird, so I guess I'll stay being a lesbian trans guy. And then I was nothing really again, not really having a label. And then I found the label queer. And that label was just beautiful to me because I was able to identify with it so much. And you know why? Because queer means something different to everyone, and it is such a beautiful word for me to embrace for myself. I don't attribute it to anyone else because you should not be doing that, but for me, I see it as something just so empowering for me, and it helps embrace my sexuality because over the last little history that I just gave you, my attraction to different types of bodies have changed so much. So a lot of people who watch my videos assume that I'm gay because I have colored hair, and more recently because I paint my nails, and I wear colorful shirts, and I have a cat wall, and I talk with my hands, and I guess I do very feminine things that are very stereotypically gay, I guess, which is very problematic, but whatever. So everyone always thinks that I'm gay, and even in real life, honestly, like sometimes I'm out with someone who is my friend and they talk to us as if we are friends instead of like if we were together or something like that. And it's a little bit hurtful, but I also like that because it makes me feel like my queer identity is still there even if I end up being with a woman. And that's been the biggest issue for me. So I have dated men, cis men in the past, and did I identify as gay when I was dating them? No, I didn't. And I guess you could see that our relationship was a gay relationship, but I still held on to my queer identity because that's who I am, and that's the core of me is I am queer, and I relate that to my gender expression as well and my gender identity because I don't identify 100% as male. Like, yeah, I go under the FTM umbrella, but like, yo, I'm a squiggle, like technically, I'm all over the place. Like I would technically fit under the non-binary umbrella, but I'm good with just saying that I'm trans because that's just how I identify. But the queerness in me has always been there and will always be there. So I had kind of a crisis on the podcast like maybe a couple of months ago where I was like, or maybe it was in my videos where I was like, sometimes I feel like I'm expected to be with men, and or maybe it was women, I don't know, we'll go with men, where I'm expected to be with men because I'm gay. And I feel like I'm holding these expectations to myself, and it's hard because when you go on all these apps like Grindr and Scruff and Hornet to meet people, you get rejected a lot, and it sucks, and it's because you're trans. And it hurt a lot, and it made me feel like I'm unlovable and I'm never gonna be able to find somebody who actually loves me who is a cis man. And that really hurt, but it still felt like I needed that cis validation, which is another topic for another day. But I feel like I craved it so much. So there was a time where I'm like, am I not actually queer? Am I gay? Like this is not clickbait, okay? Like literally, am I gay? And because I am very attracted to the male body and to the male physique, and I'm just not attracted to the emotional men stuff. And that's where all of this stuff just gets confusing to me because I am very, very still attracted to women, and women's bodies are super attractive. And if you put a woman, like a woman's body in front of me, I guess, And I'm not talking cis or trans or anything, I'm just talking a woman's body. So it doesn't matter if they're cis or trans. You're putting this body in front of me, and you're putting a man's body, trans or cis, whatever, and it just, it doesn't matter to me. I have an attraction to both equally, and to me that's such a, it's a mind fuck, because I felt like I would never be able to get to a point, and I don't identify as bisexual, but I guess you can put me as that if you want, but I identify more as queer. But I see these two bodies and I'm equally attracted to them, but I tend to want to sleep more with men but be in relationships with women. And it's such an interesting aspect to me, and I've been really trying to like soul search about like how do I do this? How do I go on YouTube and I talk about my sexuality so openly, yet I'm here sitting at my desk like, am I gay? Like, am I just gay? Am I just gonna like have to deal with like some men are just not emotional? And I know I'm being super stereotypical right now, I'm just like giving you examples. Because yes, there are men out there who are very emotional, but look, I'm a lot to handle, hunty, okay? Like I have a lot of issues, and I'm emotional, and I cry a lot, and I need somebody who is there, who can be there for me. And I'm not saying that women are there and men aren't there for me. I'm just saying that typically the people who I have dated, it's been women who have always been more emotionally invested and men who have been more sexually invested. So I have this dilemma, all right? And I want to embrace my sexuality. And I think that I figured out what it is. I think that I am so fixated on cis peen because I myself would love to have a wiener, all right? And I have bottom dysphoria, and it sucks and it hurts, and I would love to have phalloplasty in the future. And I think that I'm so fixated on the male body that I want to get as close to a wiener as I possibly can. So going to sleep with men and being around that wiener makes me feel like I can kind of identify with that wiener, and it doesn't make me dysphoric, and I really do like enjoy penetration in the front, and I'm usually a bottom when I'm with men, although I can top too. But then when I look at the emotional side, I've never in my life been ever able to connect with a guy, with a man, trans or cis, on an emotional level that I need. And it's very interesting because then you slide off to the other side, and I feel so emotionally connected to women, and I want to be close to women, and I want to be with women. And maybe that's because I really embrace my feminine side, and I've always only had female friends, and I've always, it's not like men are the enemy, but like everyone in my life, you know, like I've kind of, it was always women. And I kind of really love the emotional connection that I can have with women, and how I can open myself up and be more vulnerable, where I feel myself for men. And I know I'm being super gendered right now, and I'm not including non-binary people. I'm just telling you that I'm having a sexual crisis, all right? And when I look at women, I do have that emotional bond and connection and vulnerability, and I let myself be vulnerable. And I think maybe I've had just there's too much thinking in my head of, am I gay? Am I not gay? Can I keep my identity as queer? What am I? What's my gender? It's all over the place, and it's very exhausting. So I think I've come to a place where I understand that it really doesn't matter, and I've always felt like this, and the thoughts that I've had, if I end up being with a man, I just need to find somebody who is emotionally vulnerable and will let me be emotionally vulnerable, and that we can help each other through things that have happened in our life, and we're not so closed off. And if I end up with a woman, I also want that, because there are some women that are not emotional at all. But then it's when you talk about the sex, right? Because this is all mental. When you talk about the sex, you like how I'm going up and down, like genitals and head. When we go down to the genitals, it's like, what do I really want? Because I see both of them also as equal. It's interesting because when I'm with men, I'm usually a bottom. Like 96% of the time I'm a bottom with men. When I'm with women, you would expect me to be a top 100% of the time, I feel, but you need to understand me, that ain't my life, because I need to be with someone who will do me as much as I do them. So if I am with a woman, it needs to be 50-50. It needs to be that you are comfortable with having sex with me, in the front, in the back, wherever. I just have all these things sexually that I want to do and that I like to do, and I would love to explore with somebody. And it's just so fun when you meet that person that's like super open, and you don't fixate anymore on like the phallic object of men, and that feels like I'm objectifying men just for their bodies. Like, you go to a show and you see men, you know, dressing in Speedos and like dancing around, like, yeah, fuck, their body is really hot. And like, I'm like, But I'm really just like, do I want that on top of me? Do I? Like, yeah, sure, I do, but I'm not looking for sex right now. I'm at a place in my life where I would like to share my life with someone. So I feel like I look at women and I am super attracted to women's bodies, but I don't know how to explain it. I don't know. I feel like I'm being really problematic, by the way. But I've come to a place where I understand that, am I gay, is not a question that I should have in my head. It's more of, let yourself be open and let yourself find the person that is into you as much as you're into them, I guess. I don't know, I'm like disassociating now. I don't even know what I'm talking about. Honestly, I think my point is that I'm generally more attracted to men's bodies. Like, women are hot, yes, but I'm generally more attracted to men's bodies. But when I have a emotional connection like no other with a woman, and I feel like I'm able to be emotional and vulnerable and stuff like that, then my attraction to them just increases so much more. And then my attraction to men is just like, oh yeah, I can't be emotional with you, this is just for sex, I'm not attracted to you anymore. So it's like a different thing. And I'm being so gendered right now, and now I want to talk about people who are non-binary, because I know how gendered I'm being, and I don't like that I'm being like this. Is why the title of it, Am I Gay? Like, who cares? Literally, who cares? Literally my favorite quote that I have ever said in my entire life, and I say this, and this will be the quote that I put on my tombstone. What the fuck is gender? Because nothing matters. Nothing matters to me. Literally, it doesn't matter. And all of these things in my head that just keep going, and I'm like, why am I thinking of these things? Society has just put all of these ideas in my head about who you're supposed to be attracted to, and there are only 2 different types of bodies. And then I just like, I have to stop everything and be like, why am I having these thoughts? Because I'm in this community that has amazing people, and people who are non-binary, and people who are cis, and people who are trans, and it's a mix of everything. And to me, it doesn't matter if you are a cis woman, a trans guy, a cis guy, or a non-binary person, or a fucking squiggly line. It doesn't matter. I think that because I've realized these things about men and women and what I need in a person, and it's really more of an emotional connection and an emotional vulnerability that makes me attracted to the person no matter what body they have. So that's the conclusion. And I know that it sounded really gendered, and probably people got mad at me and they didn't watch the end of the video, so I'm gonna get hate comments, but whatever. Yes. So in the end, it doesn't matter to me anymore. And I know this video is all about me. I'm sorry, I just want to talk a little bit about like embracing my sexuality, and I feel like I'm finally at a point in my life where, yeah, I'm queer, and like it literally doesn't matter. I don't prefer cis men or cis women or a specific type of body or trans men or trans women. Like, it literally doesn't matter what body you have. It is more in the head, in what type of emotional person you are and how I emotionally connect with you. And I feel like that, like, hello Chase, obviously I feel like I've been saying this for years, but I'm not listening to myself, so this is more of a video of, hey Chase, yeah, you right there, yeah, it doesn't matter, literally. All that matters is how you connect with the person emotionally. And that's what I figured out with myself. And it took a long time, I guess, to figure out, but it's a beautiful thing when you're able to actually embrace your sexuality. Anyways, that's all I have to say. Let me know what you think. Haters, can't wait for the comments, because I know I'm gonna get some, because I didn't really elaborate on non-binary until the end of the video, but I love you guys so much. Let me know what you think. Have a great week. Bye.